Would your home be able to pass a 4-point inspection if you listed it for sale on the market? I'm Melanie Thomas with eXp Realty. I'm about to give you the answers in case you don't even know what that is. If you've been looking at any of my previous blogs, you know that I've talked about the market starting to shift a little bit. So what that means is rates are going up, mortgages are going to be more expensive for buyers. So that means one of the important components of a mortgage is the homeowner's insurance payment. So therefore, you want to make sure that your house is in good enough condition so that a prospective buyer who's receiving financing is not going to have to pay an exorbitant amount for homeowner's insurance because your house is old or out of date or doesn't come up to code with things that it needs to have. A 4-point inspection is an inspection that's now required by most insurance companies here in Florida if your house is of a certain age. Typically, it used to be 30 years or more. Now it's happening in houses 20 years or older. So let's assume that your house is of that age range. If you have a buyer who's getting a mortgage loan and they want to get homeowners insurance to cover the house, they're going to have a house that meets 4 important criteria. The first component of the 4-point inspection, and the most important overall right now in our market here in Florida, is the roof. If you have a roof that is 20 years or older, you can almost assuredly know that your buyer, your prospective buyer, is going to have a problem getting homeowners insurance. So you want to make sure that if you're putting your house on the market, if your roof needs to be replaced, that's an investment you might consider doing to make sure that you can ask top dollar for your home. If you have an old roof, you can forget about getting top dollar for your home. Unless you have a cash buyer who's willing to overlook that, you're going to have a finance buyer who's going to either ask you to replace the roof or ask for some kind of credit. The second component of a 4-point inspection is your AC system, commonly referred to as HVAC, which stands for heating, ventilation, air conditioning. So what that is your air conditioning system. Obviously here in Florida, our air conditioners work really, really hard. So what that means is they wear out quickly. So for a buyer who's coming in, that's an expensive thing that they have to replace. You want to make sure that your air conditioning system, if it is older, you can get away with that on a 4-point inspection as long as it's functional. Make sure that you're keeping it maintained and serviced well. And if it's leaking or anything like that, you want to get a hold of those problems ahead of time before you put your house on the market. So again, it can't be used against you as a negotiating tool with the buyer. The third component of a 4-point inspection is your electrical system. So if your house is built in the 1970s and your electrical panel has not been replaced since then, you may want to consider doing that. It's not a really expensive thing to do, but it's definitely necessary for today's 21st century electronic needs. We didn't have internet and a TV in every room and all the sorts of devices that we have now in that time frame. So you want to make sure that your electrical system in your house, the wiring is up to code. If you've got aluminum wiring or copper wiring in your house, or God forbid you have fuses instead of circuit breakers, you definitely need to invest in upgrading that before you consider putting your house on the market. No buyer is going to be able to get homeowners insurance with a panel that is outdated like that. So keep that in mind as well. The fourth component of the 4-point inspection is your plumbing system. So here in Florida, any house that was built prior to 1997 potentially may have what we call polybutylene pipes in there. And those pipes are no longer made based on back at the time when they were put in houses, they had a propensity to burst and leak, and so there was a class action lawsuit. Long story short, if your house still has those types of pipes in there, you're going to have to more than likely replace them if you want to get homeowners insurance, or if a buyer is buying your home and you have those pipes in there, they're going to need to replace them. So somebody's going to have to pay for that. So if you have any questions or if you need recommendations for inspectors or vendors that can do any of this work for you, reach out to me. My contact information is below. I'm happy to share that information with you and get you referred to some people who are trustworthy and can do good work for you. In the meantime, keep checking me out here. I'm always thinking outside the box for different ideas for you to buy and sell homes. Reach out to me anytime and I'm happy to give you any assistance that I can. See you guys next time.